When the P-47 Thunderbolt first took the stage over Europe, German pilots laughed. It looked big, clumsy, and heavy. Compared to their sleek Messerschmitts, it was like a flying barrel. They mocked it over radio chatter, calling it the milk bottle with wings. But the laughter didn't last long. Minutes later, the sky was torn apart by thunder. 8 Browning 50 caliber machine guns firing in perfect unison. The German aces soon realized that what they had thought was a joke was in fact a monster. Stay until the end to learn how the once underestimated P-47 became one of the most feared fighter aircraft of World War II and how its roar changed the course of the air war forever. In early 1943, when German pilots first encountered the P-47 Thunderbolt, their reaction was almost unanimous disbelief. To them, this new American fighter looked excessively large and crude. Compared to the sleek Bf-109 or FW-190, the Thunderbolt was enormous. It was nearly twice as heavy as many Luftwaffe interceptor aircraft. From the cockpit of a German fighter, the sight was almost comical. The P-47 was so large that pilots joked it must have been built around its engine. They did not believe such an aircraft could climb, turn, or fight effectively. But they were about to realize very quickly that they were wrong and that they had made a serious mistake. The Jug takes flight. The heart of the Thunderbolt was the massive Pratt & Whitney R2800 Double Wasp, a radial engine producing more than 2,000 horsepower. It wasn't elegant, it was pure power. That raw force gave the P-47 speed, altitude, and durability, qualities that surprised even its own pilots. At the high altitudes where most air battles over Europe were fought, the Thunderbolt could attack faster than anything else in the sky. Although its size made it seem like an easy target, its rugged construction made it extremely difficult to bring down. Many P-47s returned to base riddled with bullet holes, their engines still running strong. That was when the laughter began to fade.
8.50 caliber reasons to run. The Thunderbolt carried 8 Browning M2.50 caliber machine guns, 4 in each wing. Together, they unleashed a storm of lead unlike anything the Luftwaffe had ever faced. In just a single 1-second burst, nearly 100 rounds could be sent toward a target, shredding everything in their path. German pilots who dared to attack head-on often didn't get a second chance. The P-47 could tear a Messerschmitt apart before the German pilot even opened fire. And when the Thunderbolt went into a dive, its weight became its weapon. At dive speeds exceeding 500 miles per hour, it was untouchable. Luftwaffe fighters that tried to chase it often lost control or broke apart from the extreme stress. Soon, the same men who had mocked it gave it a new nickname, der große Teufel, the Big Devil. From escort to ground attack beast. As the war progressed, the P-47's role expanded. Originally designed as a high-altitude escort fighter, the Thunderbolt eventually became one of the most effective ground attack aircraft of the entire war. With its 8.50 caliber guns, along with bombs and rockets, it was like a flying sledgehammer against German armor and convoys. By 1944, Thunderbolts were devastating supply lines, trains, and bridges across occupied Europe. German troops began to fear the distinctive whistle of a diving P-47, followed by the roar of machine gun fire that left columns of smoke and destruction behind. Even under heavy fire, the aircraft could withstand incredible damage. Stories spread of P-47s returning with cylinders blown off, tails riddled with holes, and control surfaces shredded, yet still landing safely.
The pilots who flew the Jug. American pilots affectionately called the aircraft the Jug, short for Juggernaut. At first, some didn't like it. It was heavy, sluggish in turns, and lacked the agility of lighter fighters like the Spitfire. But over time, they learned to use its strengths, power, firepower, and toughness. One of America's top aces, Major Francis Gabby Gabreski, scored most of his victories flying the P-47. He said it could bring you home when no other aircraft could. For Thunderbolt pilots, the plane became a symbol of endurance, an engine that refused to quit, and guns that never jammed when it mattered most. The German response. By late 1944, German command reports described the P-47 as a serious and relentless threat. Its diving speed and heavy armament made traditional dogfighting impossible. Luftwaffe squadrons began avoiding direct engagements. German mechanics started adding armor plates to fighter fuselages in desperate attempts to survive the Thunderbolt's firepower. But it was too little, too late. The laughter that once echoed across radio frequencies was gone. Now there was only static and the distant rumble of radial engines. The Thunderbolt's legacy. By the end of the war, the P-47 had destroyed more than 7,000 enemy aircraft and tens of thousands of ground targets. It had become one of the most successful American fighter aircraft ever built. Its legacy lived on not only in its victories, but in the lessons it taught. Speed could be matched, maneuverability could be improved, but durability and firepower, those were what won wars.